Hi, this is Doug Ward from Tech Britain. Today we're at the Birmingham Science Park. I'm here with
Steffan Aquarone.
Thank you very much, Steph. Saved me there. I'm co-founder of Settle. I'd just like to let our viewers know, Steph, about yourself, and that'd be a great start.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my business has always been about making things happen, and I'm not from a tech background at all, but ever since I was 15, I've been setting up businesses or schemes or projects or anything like that, where the core component that I've done is turning it from an idea into reality. Of course, that's involved thinking a lot, it's involved strategy, it's involved a lot of selling, all sorts of different definitions. But the making thing happen part is the bit that I do.
Fantastic. So you're originally from Norfolk.
That's it.
What's brought you to Birmingham?
I came to Birmingham to read politics at Warwick University, so absolutely nothing sort of that was suggesting I'd end up in the tech community at all. I didn't come to Birmingham for that reason, but I stayed here because by the time I finished university, I set up another business and I bought a house, and that's where I'd put out some roots.
So speaking about Settle, can you let our viewers know what Settle is?
Sure, so Settle is a mobile payments platform, and most people have probably heard of the idea that in a few years' time we'll be putting out our mobile phones rather than cash or credit cards to make payments in shops or manage our money. And Settle really goes a lot further than most mobile payment platforms do at the moment. Most mobile payment platforms are just kind of credit cards stored on your phone, whereas Settle is a system that you have in an app, you top up the app with funds, and then you can send payments to anyone else, anywhere in the world for free. Do that to peer-to-peer, or you can do it in restaurants, bars, merchants as well. And so the whole thing takes place completely outside of the banking system. It means we can do really cool things like make the whole thing transaction fee free, but also a load more stuff to do with location-based marketing, really cool anonymous functionality, so you don't have to give away your data to any merchants you don't want to, and some great ways of getting offers and discounts at the point of sale as well.
Fantastic. And where's the company at this stage? We should say we're in when this goes out, probably August, September time.
Okay, so, well, we're going to be nationwide by September. No, I don't think we are. I think what we're doing at the moment is we're realising how colossal the task that we've taken on is. We've been through all the hurdles of regulation, which is huge, and obviously security, because this system is sort of AAA grade security, and it needs to be in order to manage people's money confidently.
Absolutely.
So we spent about 6 months so far, all self-funded, bringing together a team of about 15 people to work both on the business development and on the technical development itself. And in about 6 weeks from now, so kind of by the time the summer really kicks off, we'll have a working product that we'll be beta testing in Birmingham. The reason to do that is that we think if we can crack Birmingham, if we can get real merchants and real people to use Settle in Birmingham, we'll have a great platform to launch for the rest of the country, but we'll also have all the kind of really useful insights that we need for our business plan to make it make any sense. And so we're going to be testing all the kind of assumptions, all the moving parts, getting to know them and work out what they look like before we try and go any further. So by September, if you're watching in September, what we hope is that we've had a really successful beta test in Birmingham, and that we're then looking at where to roll out to next, whether that's elsewhere in the country or in other countries elsewhere in the world.
Superb. I mean, the security side of it must be fundamental.
Yeah.
How have you gone around solving that problem?
With the security, we've done what I think all good startups should do, which is to ask for help. And we asked for help from the top technologist at a major global bank. And he was so excited by what we were doing, outside of what the bank was planning to do itself, that he let us work with his 30 top crack experts who manage all of the global security for this particular bank. And they worked with us on a project to just kind of educate us and probe, and also to test out some of the thinking we've been applying to our systems. And we came away really, really confident that we were doing the right things, but with loads of ideas about how to protect it even further. So we can really confidently say now that we have a world-class security system around our product.
Fantastic. Wow, what a great opportunity.
Millions of pounds worth of consultancy in a very short space of time. Just because I guess that we tapped into somebody's sort of somebody's spirit, and they thought we were doing a good thing and wanted to help. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're fantastic. In terms of Birmingham's tech community, what's your thoughts?
I think when you're looking at tech communities, it's really important to remember that entrepreneurs are an incredibly tenacious breed, and they will go anywhere to get anything that they think they need. So trying to put everything everywhere for technology entrepreneurs is probably a bit of a hiding to nothing. What matters is having enough people around you to make you feel like you're not a complete mad person. And in Birmingham, there are a great bunch of people who are all totally mad, but all on the same sort of mission to make their tech startups work in the city, but really realistically beyond as well. So we're already looking to London financiers for our venture capital. Doesn't mean to say that we're not enjoying being in Birmingham and benefiting hugely from the subsidised accommodation that we have here. That's been the single most important thing to us, being able to start off with no money apart from that which we've got ourselves, and get the things that are not adding any value at all, but which are absolutely essential to the business, like accommodation, internet access, places to meet, those sorts of things. But just even having a few people, so if you're in a tiny town in the middle of Scotland, just a few people is enough to make you feel like you're part of a bit of a scene, and just people to help signpost the other parts of the country where you can get things done are incredibly useful, and that's what we've got here as well.
It's fantastic to hear. I mean, we're very much about the UK coming together and it not having to be one centralised location because it's a global perspective that's required these days. It's very refreshing to hear. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is a global thing. I think there's a lot to be said for just building connections and having conversations with other people. I think one of the problems that a lot of startups have is they're not very good at strategy. And you have to be really discerning to work out how to spend your time and how to use the limited resources that you do have. And I'm not sure if there's a kind of national solution to that. I think that's about equipping entrepreneurs with the skill sets that say how do they make sure they get done what they need to get done, don't get distracted. But when it comes to the kind of where the tech scene is in the UK, I don't care where the tech scene is in the UK. I can travel very easily to any part of the UK in under a day. So as long as there are the kind of key components somewhere, finance, management, support, skills, resources, those sorts of things, and good airports, I think you can be a tech startup in any part of the country.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in complete agreement. How have you found the experience being based at the Science Park?
The Science Park is great. I mean, I would say that because they're giving us a fantastic deal as well. But
and they'll be watching this.
Yeah, and they'll be watching it, and they asked me to speak, so I'm not going to muck around. No. Realistically, they've done two absolutely essential things for us. One is, as I mentioned, they've made it possible for us to go far further with our accommodation, our office, and our facilities than we'd been able to afford to otherwise. But the second thing is there are a bunch of people here who work at the Science Park or are involved with it who are incredibly well connected. And some of our most significant and most useful meetings and connections and relationships come as a result of those people being prepared to open up their contacts books and connect us to people. And that is absolutely priceless. And it's the single bit that I think possibly government misunderstands the most. Because again, you don't have to all be in the same place to have good networks. In fact, sometimes it helps not having everyone in the same place when it comes to having good networks. You just need to be able to connect people into the right places. And that's something the Science Park's done phenomenally well.
So anybody who's watching this who's thinking, I'm tempted, I like the idea, what would you say to them about the whole experience? A positive, friendly atmosphere? How would you describe it?
Yeah, in terms of the kind of one-line commercial for Birmingham Science Park, I think it's a great place to work. It's got everything that a tech startup needs and quite a lot more. As with most opportunities, it's about being front-footed and trying to get as much as you can out of everything. And we've pillaged them for everything we possibly can, including a number of free rail passes for our meetings in London.
Fantastic.
Which has been brilliant, incredibly useful at this stage in our development. But overall, there's a lot to be said for remote working and being able to bring in skills in sort of by the hour as you need them remotely. But it makes a big difference being able to meet your team in one place. And just having a really small hot desk or a pod that you can meet in here has been great for us as a team. We've got 4 of us who are kind of principally involved in the business, and to just be able to get together regularly, talk about what we're doing, and plan and behave like a proper business, even though we're not trading yet and we're still in development with our product, has been really, really useful as an accelerator for our development.
Moving on to the government, I wonder what your thoughts are in terms of their role to play in the tech community. Do you think they have a role to play?
The government has a role to play encouraging anything that's good, I think, in society, and I think the tech industry is good. It's particularly successful when it comes to encouraging those important things like education and employment. So I think it's a good thing that government supports the tech industry, and I think the tech industry is a good thing for society. I think, as with most government support programs, the objective should be to deliver the most powerful, useful support for the least cost, and that is, the least pence in the pound for actually delivering real intervention. And most government programs cost far, far too much to administer. By the time the money is actually hit anywhere useful, the cost of administering the funds is very, very large. So I'm a big fan of direct ground-level intervention and not of setting up support organisations or quangos or hubs and spokes. I think that whole model has proven time and time again, both within and outside the tech industry, to be a really, really inefficient way of offering support. I think what government can do is at the international level. I think it can offer connections to tech communities in other countries. That's probably the first and most important thing I think it can do. The second thing is really about enabling access to finance. And again, that's not about creating a big model by which you access finance. It's just about making it easier for businesses, banks, venture capital funds, etc., to find and invest in the opportunities at lower risk. And that makes it easier for us as entrepreneurs to go and get the money we need when we need it. Those two things, internationalisation and access to finance, I think probably the most important things. And then I think if there's anything else, it should be done on a how can we get this money onto the ground quickly, accountably, yes, but quickly and effectively, and not look to try and create some overarching structure. I think whatever is needed today will have changed by the time it gets to tomorrow.
Just to end with, Steffan, can you let our viewers know where they can find out about Settle?
Yes, so Settle is in beta at the moment, and in fact it's actually very shortly going to be releasing the app for the first time to our beta testers, but settleapp.com is the website, and if you're a merchant that's interested in taking payments through mobile payments without having to be charged transaction fees, you can register there. Or if you're a user and you're interested in getting on board in the very early testing, as I say, it'll only work in Birmingham at the moment, then you can also register there, settleapp.com.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time.
Not
It's been a real pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.